Almost forgot the most important thing. Go. It's hunting season, y'all. It's hunting season, y'all. Just got to the spot here. Gonna start prepping everything. Alright, so it's about 4:24. Getting here kind of, I wouldn't say it's late, but getting there, so gotta get this crap together, get my batteries in the bag, and get on my way. Guys, welcome back to another one. It's September 15th, 2022. It's the first day of archery season, and got back in here in the middle of this public piece, heavily pressured piece, so I wouldn't be surprised if I see someone, but it's about 5:15 right now. Took me about 30 minutes to get up a tree, and took me about 30 minutes to walk back in here. I kept changing my mind where I wanted to set up. And really, I'm going in blind right now, so and where I'm thinking deer are going to be, I'm in this giant tree line behind me, and I'm hoping deer are bedded. The wind's got a crosswind, so I came up behind this tree line behind me, so there's nothing back there. They would have ran off and spooked, but I'm hoping upwind of me, deer are going to come out of their bedding as the sun starts setting and start feeding in this field in front of me, and hopefully I get a shot at something tonight. If not, this will just be like an observation sit, kind of overlooking this field, because deer are going to come out in the field regardless. They're still on their summer patterns and they haven't been really heavily pressured yet. But with this place being so close to town and so much people hunting it, it's going to change real quick once people start hunting in here. But I'm kind of in the middle of it all, hopefully away from a bunch of people. Pretty windy right now. I'd say it's probably 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. Things are starting to cool off. Got everything set up. Here, I'll show you my setup. So here's the setup. Here are my sticks. I'm about 3 sticks up. Got my backpack, my bow hanging off the side. Got my saddle all tethered in. I walked through a bunch of crap, so got my camera set up, and this is that field I'm overlooking. Here's that tree line. It runs north to south, and I'm hoping deer are going to come out here and start feeding on all of this. I've seen some sign up there, you know, some browse sign, but who knows how old that is. You can see a road that someone's been traveling, so I'm hoping deer are either going to come out there or come out of this, you know, and kind of feed in front of me. Keep you guys posted. It's hot. It's about 83 degrees right now. Early season, so it's hot. Ideally, when you're standing in the saddle, if you're left-handed or right, whatever you call it, if you're holding the bow with your left hand, this is your strong side shot and this is your weak side. But this is the only tree I found, and this is the only way I can set up in it. So my weak side shot is actually gonna have to be my primary shot tonight if something's coming out. I'm hoping they're gonna come out here within bow range. I can see all along this field. Well, I lost my phone somewhere. I got down in the tree and I looked around, kind of walked around. I don't know where it's at. Somewhere. I remember the last time I used it, but it's somewhere between where I'm at now and last time I used it. It's quite a bit of crap in the way. I hope I find it. My wife's gonna be freaking out if she texted me and I didn't reply. She's gonna think the worst. I got a massive headache, migraine. I don't feel good. This hunt went to crap real quick. I'm nauseous and it just feels sick. And I lost my phone. Don't know where it's at. I'm guessing it's like 6:15 right now. The sun is starting to take its course and set down to the west of me. But I'm about 13, 14 feet high right now to my platform, and this is my first time saddle hunting. Not too shabby. If only I didn't lose my phone. The wind is still blowing kind of crossways like this into my face and into the tree line behind me. But I'm hoping the deer are going to come out in the tree line to the south of me, upwind me, and kind of walk out into the field. If I don't get anything tonight, at least I'll see observation kind of where they're coming out, what's coming out. Because deer are still going to be on their summer patterns, bedding all day and coming out in the evening, so it's a fairly large field. Just had 3 does come out other side of the field, about, I don't know, 200 to 300 yards away from me, probably 300 yards, maybe a little bit more. They came out, they were feeding, and they didn't like something and they spooked off. There's no way they smelled me because my wind's going the completely other direction. Sucks I can't find my phone. I lost that sucker somewhere. Mosquitoes are terrible. They're all over me. I don't know what time it is, but the sun well behind the trees behind me, but deer starting to come out, so I better be on alert because there's going to be more that are coming out. I just had those 4 does come out. And they came out, I don't know, probably like 600-700 yards away, and they looped around and they were coming this way along this tree line. And the biggest one, the lead mama doe, made it to about 75 yards. And then that coyote that you guys saw came up behind them and just spooked them all off, and they took off into the tree line onto the other side of the field. So I was like, dang it, I almost got it done on opening day. Almost got a doe down. I would have sniped that mama doe. Since I'm in this canopy right here, it'd be really hard for them to see me. In my thermals, I kept throwing milkweed. We're dropping right down into the other side of the tree line, so they never would have smelled me unless they would have passed my tree. But it's just about the end of legal shooting light. Gonna start packing up. That'll do it for the first day of deer season 2022. I seen 7 does and 1 coyote. Turned out to be a pretty nice sit. Now if I can only find my phone wherever I dropped it, I have to backtrack and make sure, look exactly. Somehow it fell out. I don't know where it's at, but gonna start packing up, and hopefully next time I see you guys I have my phone in my hand. Alright, so I'm back home now. That was absolute crazy what happened there at the end. So as you guys know, I lost my phone on the way to the stand, and anyways, I climbed up the tree. Anyways, the story goes, I climbed up the tree, and I got everything situated. I got the saddle up and everything, and wanted to send a couple Snapchats to my friend. And I started, reached in my hand in my pocket, and I'm like, where the heck's my phone? So I'm like, okay, it must have fallen out, So I'm looking down on the ground. I'm like, well, I don't see it from the tree. I started digging through my backpack, maybe thinking maybe I put it in the backpack before I climbed up or whatever. I'm like, okay, I remember the last time I pulled it out was in this thick patch that I was in. Not where I was hunting, but I walked into a thick patch off of a tree line, and looking at some trees, and I pulled out my phone. I'm like, okay, where should I go next? So that's where I remember the last place that I had it. So while I'm up in the tree, I'm searching for my phone. I'm like, where the heck is this thing? So I climbed back down, and I just kind of looked around my tree, around the base of the tree. I thought maybe it was somewhere there. I looked around the tree. I thought maybe I dropped it. I even walked out into that little trail right there, kind of by the field, and I thought maybe it was laying there. And I'm like, well, I don't see it, and I don't want to ruin my spot. Might as well just hunt and look for it after. So I ended up hunting, and I seen 7 does total. I had 3 does came out. Like I said earlier, they weren't downwind of me. They were actually far. They were like 300 or 400 yards away from me. Something spooked them off. I think it was a coyote. And the reason why I think it's a coyote, because, I don't know, like an hour and a half later, I seen 2 does come out. It was a mom and a fawn. And another 2 does, a mom and a fawn. So it was a group of 4. They came out of this one spot where I remember where they came out of. And they started working their way around the field and kind of working their way actually towards my tree. I seen them like at 200 yards, and then 150 yards, and then like 100 yards. And the lead mama doe was actually leading the pack kind of towards my tree. And she got to about 75 yards, and this coyote comes running out of exactly where they came out, which is like 400 yards away. And he kind of did circles, he was following them, really is what he was doing. And he comes bolting around a couple of like thick patches of thick brush, and scares them off, and they start snorting. I'm like, are you serious, bro? I almost sniped that big mama doe. She was 75 yards away. I would have taken a doe on, first day of the season, get it going. Would have been nice, So she got about to 75 yards, and stupid coyote came running out and had to ruin everything. But it was a pretty nice sit. But anyways, back to the phone story. So I climb back down. It gets dark. I climb back down. I pack all my stuff up, and I'm just kind of like looking around the base of the tree. I'm like, where is this thing at? And I'm thinking it must have fallen out on the way, when I was walking, so earlier before I climbed up the tree, I said it must have fallen out from where I had it open last when I was looking at Onyx, and then onto the tree where I was sitting. So I walked around and I kind of followed my steps back, and it was dark already, and I'm like, well, I can't find it right now. And I actually tried looking for it, retracing my steps. I couldn't find it. So I walked back without a phone like a mile back to the parking lot where my truck was. It was like right around a mile is how far back I was into this piece of public. Finally made it to the road, and I was yelling the whole time, like, hello, anybody here? Anybody still hunting? There's a couple other guys that I talked to in the parking lot that were hunting kind of in the same area, but they were gone by the time that I even made it back to the parking lot. Anyways, so I made it back to the parking lot, and I seen a truck coming, so I flashed him down, and he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hey, can I borrow your phone? I need to call my wife, so just to let her know, that everything's okay. Maybe she was looking for me or whatever, maybe she wanted something and I wasn't replying, who knows, So anyways, I got talking to the guy, and I made my phone calls, and he's like, hey, I can actually help you look for the phone. And I'm thinking, okay, that's nice if you really want to. He's like, yeah, I have no problem doing it. So he had no problem helping me out. And I was so far back into there that I'm like, dude, it's a long walk. Are you sure you're ready for this? Are you sure you want to, he's like, yeah, no problem. I could help you. His name is Josh. Thanks, Josh, by the way. And I'm like, well, there was a gate off the side of the road. I'm like, let me drive my truck in there. Let's take our truck, drive it in at least to where the thick stuff starts. I said most of the walking will be open field, so I was like, we can just drive over there. Anyways, so we hopped into the truck. I drove in through that fence, and I drove all the way back to where that thick stuff started. Anyways, we hopped out of the truck, and we just kind of went into the thick patch where I remember I had my phone last. And we started looking in through there, and he would call my phone because I thought maybe if the phone falls out, it's an iPhone, it's either going to land face up or face down. I thought maybe if it's laying face up, because it was pitch black and calm, quiet, once you make a phone call, you'll see the screen light up, and my brightness is usually set pretty high. So we didn't see anything there, so we'd walk a little bit in this thick, heavy stuff, and he would call again, and we'd turn off our flashlights. Didn't see anything, so we just kind of kept walking through this thick stuff, and then I veered into a tree line where I actually crossed through a tree line into that open field where I seen those deer, where I was hunting essentially. And as I'm walking through that tree line, and I'm looking, and it's not super thick, it's actually kind of like dried up mud, and looking through it, and I look down, after looking for it for a good 15, 20, 30, actually like 25 minutes, I look down and I see the phone laying there face down, so it wouldn't have lit up anyways. So I prayed about it. I was like, God, please open my eyes. I said, please let me see it. So thank God that I found it. That's the only way I found it is with God's help. So anyways, yeah, that was the craziest story. Not that, I don't know if you call that crazy story or not, but it's like, it's crazy how there was a guy, such a nice of a guy, that he actually went out and he actually helped me look for the phone. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people, and I thanked him so much. I even tried paying him. He didn't want to take it. And I was like, man, I owe you. So we kept contacts. I wrote his phone number down. Actually lives not too far from where I do, but so it's nice to have people around that are still nice like that, people that will help out. Anyway, so thank you, Josh. If you're watching this video, I appreciate it so much, man. But anyways, the recap of the whole hunting day, you've seen I had 3 does and then 4 come out, so there's a total of 7 does that I seen. So it's pretty nice for walking in blind. Obviously, I didn't see any bucks, but for walking in blind, for one, and walking into a heavy pressured public land, I was fortunate enough to see 7 does. So I was about, like I said, I almost sniped that first mama doe. If that coyote didn't come out, she would have made it within 30 yards of my tree, 30, 40 yards of my tree before legal shooting light. So I was kind of hoping to take her, but hey, I'm happy that, I found my phone, first of all, and I'm happy that I even saw some deer. He was hunting too. Josh was a hunter. He didn't see any deer, so he's like, hey, you seen more than I did, But anyways, that's just crazy deer opener that I've had. So yeah, that was that. If you guys enjoyed it, like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment. It really helps out the channel. See you on the next one, guys. Peace.